Hey there, Josh with DirtInfo. We've got cars on the track running hot laps with Lucas Oil late models down at Alltech, and I just wanted to check in and give everyone a little bit of a heads up on who I'm looking at before we get into qualifying. I think the first and most obvious one we got to talk about is JD. He's the highest salary. That's always a tough pill to swallow. There's really no upside with the top salary guy, but it's JD. He's got an average finish position of 2.83 and 6 starts at Alltech in 22, and he's got 2 wins. Both of those came in XR competition, but one was as recently as December. It's hard not to just think he's the favorite, so keep him on your radar. If you can fit him in your lineup, it's probably worth doing. A little bit further down the salary charts, we've got Devin Moran and Tim McCready. I think both of these guys are sitting 4 and 5 on the salary charts, are definitely worth looking at. Moran's got an average finish position of 3 and only 2 starts, though, so limited sample size, but still pretty good. He finished second and fourth with Lucas last year to begin the season. McCready's got an average finish position of 7 in 6 starts. He's also got a win with XR down there, and he's got 2 second places, one with Lucas and one with XR in 22. So he's definitely worth taking a look at. Ashton Winger, probably the big one. I think a lot of guys are going to be keying in on him. Winger's coming in with an average plus minus over speed weeks of plus 6.75. So just as a quick primer, where his salary slots him, he's on average beating that by 6.75 positions in the finishing order. So as an example, he's sitting right now at 10th. He might get a top 3. That's a ton of value for us. So he's definitely worth taking a look at. He's also got a win with XR in 22 at Alltech. So I mean, barring an engine nuking itself in qualifying, I think he should be on everyone's radar. A couple guys moving down who maybe haven't had the greatest speed weeks, but are worth taking a look at here at Alltech are Shane Clanton and Kyle Bronson. Clanton has an atrocious negative 10.4 plus minus. He's doing terribly in relation to where his salary is spotting him. But at Alltech, in 6 starts, he has an average finish position of 7th. So there's push and pull there. We'll see which metric is more useful off of this. But some highlight finishes for Clanton: a 4th and a 10th in Lucas action, a 7th, a 5th, a 9th, and a 7th in XR action. The dude just finishes in the top 10, and he's sitting at 13th right now. So probably worth a look. Kyle Bronson actually has a plus minus of 0. He's on average during speed weeks, he's finishing exactly where he's supposed to. So we can get a 14th place finish out of him tonight. Something to think about. 6 starts there in 22 and an average finish position of 11th. He had a 3rd and a 4th with XR. I'm intrigued, definitely. Moving a little bit further down, we've got Tyler Erb, Jimmy Owens. The Osho's got 2 wins at Alltech, one last year and one in 20. So the man knows his way around. He's had a tough go of it here. There was reports that he was headed home. Doesn't turn out to be true, but all the same, he's worth keeping an eye on. Tyler Erb, he's in a rocket, right? Maybe he can't win, although I think that might be a little overblown. But all the same, he's got an average plus minus of 3. And an average salary of 18th through speed weeks. He's sitting right there at 18th now. So I think we've got definitely some upside. Also, in 2 starts at Alltech, average finish position of 8.5. So certainly some upside there. Spencer Hughes is another one to keep an eye on. In his 2 starts last year with Lucas, he had an average finish position of 12.5, so somewhere around 13th. He's sitting at 20th right now. A guy that I really like, I think everyone probably really likes, is Mason Ziegler. He's sitting at 21st overall in salary right now. He's got average plus minus of 11.33. And incidentally enough, that's off of a salary that would on average put him at 24. So he's putting up massive points for where his salary keeps slotting him. I definitely think it's worth taking a look. He doesn't have... I wasn't able to find any historical races there. I'm sure the man's been there, just not as far back as I was willing to go. But still, hard to pass. Hard to pass on that one. It's a good salary. He's been outdoing his salary slot repeatedly. Definitely worth keeping an eye on. We've got Little bit further down, Garrett Alberson has a plus minus over speed weeks of 2.4. He's been sitting more or less right where he is now at 23rd, so got a little upside to him. I mean, you got to fill up your roster on the bottom end with guys who are going to get in and who are going to move forward. It feels like Alberson's one of those guys. I would also say that Garrett Smith is one of those guys. We know he's running the series full time, so there's a provisional there if something goes awry. Will Harrington as well. There we go. Will Harrington as well has been doing quite well. In two starts at Alltech last year with XR, he had an average finish position of 15.5. I don't think those fields are the same, what we're seeing tonight and what we saw with XR. But still, he's been on the track. He's done fairly well. Something to consider. A guy like Mark Whitener, average finish position of 16.8 in 6 starts and 22 at Alltech. So he can get in the feature and he can get us middle of the pack points, which are always necessary. Notably in December, he had 2 top 5s at Alltech with XR. So worth a guy worth taking a look at. Another guy like way down at 32 on the salary charts, Peyton Freeman, average finish position of 12 and 2 XR starts. Those both came in December. He has had a tough go of it with Lucas, and he has no provisionals. So really, I mean, even if he qualifies really well, it seems like he's just been so snake bitten. But the numbers bear it out. He's worth keeping an eye on. And then another guy, the Snowdrift. I like nicknames. That's an awesome one, especially being stuck up here in Minnesota, freezing my tail off right now. He has an average plus minus of 9.43 off his salary. That slots him on average 39th overall. In addition to that, he's gotten into the feature the last 3 nights of Lucas action, so twice at Bubba and once at Golden Isles. Might be at a little bit of a disadvantage with this being a half-mile track, but certainly worth considering, keeping an eye on. Hey, if he qualifies well, he's shown an ability to move forward with Lucas, so worth keeping an eye on. And then lastly, touch on Tanner English again. He ended up taking a provisional at Bubba on Monday, so I think he probably fronted the loyalty deposit. He's probably weighing his options, which series he wants to run with. Of all of the guys with the salary slotting them in the top 10, only he and Winger have average plus minus that's positive, which it just speaks to how well he's doing. I mean, I think being way up there, you're going to have a plus minus that is negative. If you're always the number one guy, there's no shot that you'll have a positive plus minus. You just statistically can't. So it's just interesting that those are the 2 guys. English, I think, has been driving really well. He might be the breakout driver of this year. I've just personally been very impressed with that tandem with Viper Motorsports. It seems to be working. So those are the guys I like. Just as a quick note, we are locking rosters after qualifying. I know I touched on it in my last video that we were doing it pre-qualifying, but looks like Dirt Draft may have gotten the bugs fixed on that. Quick word, whatever way we go, I mean, we just have to play by those rules. Like, we may have an opinion, we may not, but the rules are the rules, and we just got to find a way to fit our strategy and do the best under the rules that are given to us. I appreciate that Dirt Draft has been working hard to give us what we want, but at the same time, like, we shouldn't be complaining if they have to do things to keep their service up and running. We should just be thankful that they're able to do that. That's my 2 cents. I've seen a lot of banner go back and forth on it, and I just figured, to the extent that I've started any of it, I just wanted to be perfectly clear that I'm thankful that they're working on it. I'm thankful that they're keeping it up, and I love the service. It gives me something to talk about. You guys get to see my goofy face. So hey, we'll just roll whatever the punches are, whatever they got to do. Just let us know, and I'll put out videos to make sure that we've got the best strategy for the rules that we're doing on a given day. So that's what I've got. Good luck out there, guys. Qualifying starting any minute now. I would love to see your rosters, see what you ended up going with, have a conversation about how we're doing throughout the night. Just hit me up on Twitter, Facebook. That's where both of this video will be posted on both platforms. So good luck, y'all.